Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is Tuesday, the 27th of May. Obviously, season is over, everything is over, everything's done and dusted, so we can reflect a bit. We genuinely can reflect a tiny bit. So, today on the agenda, what we have for the stream is Premier League Team of the Season. Obviously, some people say team of the season is the team that won the actual season, which in this instance would be obviously Liverpool. However, we're gonna do this a bit differently. We're gonna look from all the teams, the best performing players, in our opinion, basically, and we're gonna decide who goes where, what, and how. But before we get into that, we're gonna look at some transfer news, transfer rumors, because there are some mini updates regarding Viktor Gyökeres, and of course Thomas Partey as well. So we're gonna look into that, and then we're gonna do, of course, the Premier League team of this season. So if you're all excited for that, if you want to get into it, don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't already. Caress it, hammer it, destroy it, lick it, however you do it, just please do it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Road to 600 subscribers is going strong. After that, of course, we are aiming to the big 1000, of course. So we are aiming for that quite strongly before the start of the next season. So hopefully we can achieve it by then. And of course, leave your thoughts down in the live chat so we can tackle them, we can discuss them. And of course, I can guarantee you that, and I know that you will have some certain opinions for the right backs, left backs, any position we're gonna discuss in terms of Premier League team of the season at least. Big up Marlon, or in other words, Ania, who is here. Big up to you, hope you're doing well today. Big up coach, hope you're doing well. Looking forward to the show, hope you're well. I'm doing well, I'm doing actually quite fine. To be honest, I'm doing quite great in terms of at least this content type of situation going on, because I'm not gonna lie, streams are doing very well. I'm being monetized to some extent, like memberships, donations, stickers, all that stuff. And on TikTok as well, have a TikTok that has hit over 26,000 views. Has one that's over 4K if I'm not mistaken. Today's upload is doing a bit slower, but we're gonna go for them and see what flies, of course. But in other terms, I'm doing quite great. I have Friday off this week as well, so that is actually quite fantastic. And of course, yeah, hopefully today's a great show. Big up to you for dropping by. Hope you're doing fantastically well today as well, and cannot wait to see what you're gonna say about team of the season and everything. What you think about building a dream team with your favorite Arsenal players all time, or I cannot build all time. I can build a dream team of the players I have seen, which is a bit unfair because I have seen the Invincibles, I have seen those type of players which could quite heavily dominate to some extent. So that would be a bit weird, but we definitely can do that for a certain stream or a certain video. Definitely we can do that. And while we are on this subject, tomorrow on Views on Sport stream, here we're gonna have a chat. We will have Under the Lens tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time on his channel, where basically we're gonna have one-on-one. We're gonna talk about Arsenal, we're gonna talk about me, my journey, becoming Arsenal fan, and all this stuff from back in the day, what it feels like and all that stuff. So I'm definitely gonna put it out on comments and on posts, so you can go there as well to check it out, see, maybe get to know me a tiny bit more, let's just put it that way. And that it's gonna happen tomorrow. So no stream on this channel tomorrow, but definitely there will be 100% a video tomorrow. I'm gonna make sure of that. I don't want to miss any single day without uploads. I pretty much upload 2 times already a day. I do a stream or video plus a short, and then obviously I upload also on TikTok. So it's going all full steam ahead, of course. What about a stream to talk? What? About everyone dream team. We can do that. We definitely can do that, especially during summer, because transfer news are gonna get dumb and boring and everything, especially since it's gonna be the same players for some time by the looks of things, especially during the Club World Cup. We definitely can do something like that. Champions League final Saturday, 100% gonna be watching that. Yeah, consistency is paying off to maximum extent. Big up YouTube censors. Champions League winner 2025 Arsenal, one club. What? Champions League winners Arsenal, one club. I hope nobody is suggesting that men's achievements are bigger than women's achievements. They're champions of Europe. They are doing things our men's team cannot even imagine at the moment. Conference League final tomorrow. Yeah, Chelsea versus Real Betis. I hate Chelsea, but I don't want to see like we only care about Betis because Antony is there. I don't give a crap about Antony. Isco still to this day is one of my favorite players. Still to this day. I really started liking the player when he was just basically a 20-year-old in Malaga, especially in that 2012-2013 semi-final against Borussia Dortmund and watching La Liga and everything. Don't give two damns about Antony. I much rather watch Isco play. He also has finally got a call-up to Spain national team, so that is actually quite fantastic as well. YouTube censor saying 2-1 Betis. I think it's gonna be 3-2 Betis for some weird reason. Maybe 3-1. Women's team always carrying. Yeah, they are, because they have won more in a very long time compared to Arsenal. News updates, please. In a second. So, updates. So, what we're gonna kick things off today? Rodrigo. Of course, Arsenal have been linked with him heavily, vaguely, depends how you look at it. Some talks have been in terms of Arsenal are linked, Arsenal are interested, well, the usual buzzwords. You know the stuff, Arsenal are eyeing and all this stuff. And at the moment, according to reports from Spain at least, Rodrigo does not have any offers right now on the table from any other team. Obviously, the interest from Arsenal is actually real, apparently, but a potential move is a long ways off, because it's just interest. Nobody has discussed any fees, no payments, no salaries, no clauses, no nothing. So ultimately, it's just on interest level. And in other terms, Berta has made a phone call, see if he's available, and that's about it. And that's what's gonna be about 90% of the talks about players Arsenal are linked with, at least currently. In 4 days, transfer window opens for 10 days till June 10th, when the Club World Cup begins. Then it closes for 6 days or 7 days, closed for almost a week, and then it opens again on June 16 and drags out till end of August, obviously. And at the end of the August, if I'm not mistaken, it also closes 2 hours earlier than it did before, just so for some weird reason. I don't remember why. But yeah, for now, Rodrigo is just a random speculation in terms of their links and rumors and all this stuff. So we'll see. Obviously, yeah, it is definitely. It would require about 90 million even to have even talks with Real Madrid. Then on top of that, I imagine about 15 million agency fees or something like that. Then the salary about 300 grand a week or something like that. Signing fee, signing bonus, extra clauses and everything. It would be a very, very hefty price, to say the least. Just go after Gittens, Lookman, Baena. Oh, I would love Baena at Arsenal, but Baena is more of a 10 than a left winger, so that's a bit different type of story. Kluivert, not too sure. One good season doesn't weigh out everything. Cherki, I don't know. Cherki is linked with United and Man City today. Cherki has been linked with a move to Man City due to the fact that Florian Wirtz it looks like he actually is gonna move to Liverpool. So that will be interesting to see, because it's very interesting to see how Man City are doing business. Already in January they signed some nuts players. They are linked with Reinders. Now there's Cherki and there's some other players. So definitely they are identifying the issues and they're gonna sign some players. His goal output doesn't give me big money deals. Yeah, that is the case. The output is definitely the output, at least for these seasons, it hasn't been the greatest. At the same time, providing the fact that you play for Real Madrid and pretty much about half of the team can score at any given time, it's very hard to be on top of everything. And also, I'm sick and tired of talking about this, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say this once. For me personally, Rodrigo gets played out of position. Personally, for me, because he's a left winger, for me. Some of his best games for Real Madrid even have come from the left wing. But they have Vinicius there, so he's not gonna play there. And to some extent as well, Real Madrid have 3 left wingers, to a certain extent, playing up top. Because Rodrigo, left winger, Vini, a left winger, and Mbappe, no matter how you look at it, even if he plays a striker, drifting in from the left, he looks much more dangerous, personally. But I would love to have Rodrigo at the team without shadow of a doubt. Buemo would be nice. Buemo definitely would be nice. 50 million, something like that. Apparently, the reported fee would be quite fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. Only issue for me with Buemo is the fact that we don't suit his style. Because the way Brentford tends to score is lots of counters, open spaces, attacking dynamics. Obviously, if we had, for example, Buemo, maybe would be playing more dangerous counter-attacking football. However, based on how we play, our wingers, who would be the outlets for the counter-attack, are usually defending basically in our own box almost, near our box. And then we don't have outlets. Plus, when we get into their own half, we have nobody to pass the ball to. So we basically pass it backwards. And I think that definitely would be a bit annoying in terms of the output you see from Buemo at Brentford and definitely at Arsenal, because it, in my opinion, it actually could drop quite massively if we look at it in that regard. Hell no, Cherky is Mr. Assist King. We cannot, but City are looking at him 100%. City should buy Odegaard from Madrid. Should have bought Odegaard from Madrid at the time. Maybe there's a reason why Madrid will be willing to let... What? City should buy... We got Odegaard from Madrid. Maybe there's a reason why Madrid will be willing to let him go. Maybe. Although I assume you talk about Rodrigo here. But one of the latest things I have read, at least in some articles, is the fact that Rodrigo has no intention to leave. He has spoken with Xabi Alonso, and Xabi Alonso also is very adamant about the fact that he wants to keep Rodrigo at the club. So there might be rumors, and Arsenal interest might be real, but at the end of the day, nothing will come to it, in my opinion. At the end of also, Rodrigo's I don't know why people hate on Rodrigo. Give Noshogar back to Madrid. Sell him, just sell him. Give him to someone and take someone in return. Seriously. Give Odegaard to Brentford and give us Visan Buemo or something like that. Just do something like that. No, Shogard, the problem. Bring in Ruiz or Vitinha, dude. I would love to have Fabian Ruiz and Vitinha in our team. Let's be real. Our midfield compared to most of the midfields against the teams we play in Champions League and top teams even in Premier League is just embarrassment to look at. We are not even talking about attack, which basically even top 10, top 12, 13 maybe teams in the league have better than ours. We are talking about the midfield alone now, which is already quite damning and quite annoying. Tonali would be nice, but he's not leaving Newcastle. Let's be real. Newcastle just got Champions League. Any chance he's leaving? No chance in hell. And the last time Newcastle got Champions League 2 years ago, they actually signed Tonali. So that there is a big possibility that Newcastle actually might sign someone massive as well. There is a possibility of that if you come to think of it. So that is a big worry as well if you think about it that way. At least in my opinion. So we'll see how that goes. Chef Neves is good too. Yeah, he won't leave. That's the biggest thing. There are many good players, and it would take a lot to sign, for example, Tonali. Even for Newcastle to entertain the idea, it would be 100+ million. Same would go for Bruno Guimaraes, not even talking about Isak. It would be actually kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie, it actually would be kinda nuts. In other news, Jack Porter and Tommy Setford, Max Dowman have been basically eliminated, and England have been knocked out of the Under-17 European Championships at the group stages. At the group stages, by the way, they lost to Italy, and they lost to Italy, and they won 4-2 against Czech Republic. Max Dowman scored a brilliant first goal to go 1-0 up, which was quite amazing and quite nuts of the goal to see, to be honest. However, they conceded in the 89th minute, which basically saw them getting relegated and eliminated from the Under-17 European Championships, which is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. This midfield is set to take part in Arsenal's pre-season tour as well, and that is also the case. Max Dowman is being called up to Arsenal's pre-season tour in Singapore, and Porter is also one of the candidates to be called up as well to this pre-season tour. Setford has been, if I'm not mistaken, even promoted into Arsenal's main team, so he's definitely going to be there as well. So it will be very interesting to see how these dynamics work, because Karl Hein is coming back from loan. What we're going to do with him, I have no idea. Maybe sell, maybe not. Or maybe loan out once again. So we have about 4 or 5 goalkeepers now, which will be very interesting to see how Mikel Arteta manages them. Plus Tonali was banned for betting PR disaster for Arsenal, like when we should have signed Ivan Toney. Yeah, but let's be real. Newcastle don't care. Tonali came back and is playing a massive role for the team. Like, people make mistakes. Some make smaller, some make bigger. At the end of the day, it's up to the person themselves to learn from those mistakes. Oh, PR nightmare, how the club will look, right? These type of mistakes you maybe can forgive. There are mistakes obviously you cannot forgive, let's be real. But for example, Ivan Toney would be fantastic at Arsenal, let's be real. Tonali as well, Newcastle waited and their patience got basically rewarded for that. There were some instances where sometimes you need to go with the punches. Let's just put it that way. Dauman was cooking as well. He scored a brilliant goal and assisted. Clutch number 10. Mikau Tadze as a I think it's Mikau Tadze. As a backup, actually wouldn't be the worst idea. I'm not gonna lie. As a backup. But since Lacazette is leaving Lyon, I don't think they're gonna sell Mikau Tadze whatsoever. I think they already have envisioned Mikau Tadze being their main man when Lacazette leaves. That is also a big thing I kind of tend to believe in. Josh Kroenke news. Josh Kroenke news. Hey hey, hoo hoo, hey hey, haha. Arsenal's co-chair Josh Kroenke made a speech at around midnight to the women's side following their Champions League success. Big up to Josh, to be honest. That's the only thing he can do because men's team does, well, F all, let's be real. The American praised the team's effort while giving shoutouts to Renee Slegers, obviously 8 months at the job. 2 of those months were interim basis, and she still managed to win Champions League, Women's Champions League, whilst beating arguably the second best team in the world in Lyon, and the best team in the world in women's football, which is without shadow of a doubt Barcelona. Absolutely, well, not absolutely nullified them, but actually did their own, stick to their plan, saw the game out, and made the necessary subs, and the Mead passed it to Blackstenius, and she made it 1-0. And yeah, and the director of women's football, of course, Claire Wheatley. Greenwood scores good goals. Very, very good goals. Can she coach the men's team too? Imagine. Maybe sign also Russo for striker position, Chloe Kelly for a winger position, and all them. Maybe, just maybe, do that as well. Sign Caldente. You know what's nuts as well about women's team? Last summer, Arsenal signed Caldente from Barcelona, by the way, and now just less than a week ago, she beat the Barcelona women's team in Champions League final. It's crazy how the world works, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Not this. I just liked it. I don't know why. Anyways, Thomas Partey news. Thomas Partey, some positive news allegedly coming out from Thomas Partey and Arsenal's camp regarding the new contract talks. Now, first things first, Arsenal are now in the final round of talks to renew Thomas Partey's contract. Negotiations of a short-term deal with a variable wage structure have gone very well, with both camps confident of an agreement. Obviously, Partey wanted this situation to be resolved, I think, before the season ended. I think he has kind of accepted that it couldn't have been done. So I think he wants this situation being resolved before the transfer window actually opens. So he has 4 days, basically. Right? And I think Arsenal and they will come to their consensus. I think they will come to a common ground, common predominator. They will be in a unison in this situation. And keeping Thomas Partey, I think, was very, very good thing for Arsenal. Definitely a good thing for Arsenal. That will be absolutely fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. We'll see how that goes, by the way, because there is one thing I don't have a picture. I genuinely don't have a picture on right now. I have it on my phone, I don't have it in general. But Thomas Partey, basically, how he does things for Arsenal. One season, he's almost completely out. 22-23 season, he's never injured. Last season, he was out for a lot. This season, he hasn't been injured almost pretty much at all, which genuinely scares me for the next season that he could get injured overall, which is quite annoying. Big up AJ, Big up AJ, hope you're doing well. I don't know why the chat is not coming up, which is quite interesting, I'm not gonna lie. It should be, but it's not. Okay, this is weird. Not sure why the chat is not popping up. Let's see. I'm trying to fix this on the fly, by the way, I'm very sorry. Yeah, it's not popping up. I'm very sorry. The chat is not coming up. Oh, this is awkward. This is very, very, very awkward. Give me a sec trying to fix this on the fly. Hopefully it works, because it shouldn't be like that. I'm very sorry, because pulling up chat is one of the big things to do. One of the main things that should be happening. Genuinely. Okay, let's see now. Let's see now. Does that work? Live chat. Yes, it works. Hallelujah. Big up AJ. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Huge congrats on 566 subs. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up to you. One of the 566 subs, I would like to think so. Road to 600 and then to 1k is going strong. So if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you are new around here. So yeah, it's actually kind of nuts, to be honest. Hato Diomande 100 mil, get it done. You see, you are suggesting all these things. Arsenal are not gonna do these things, let's be real. Arsenal genuinely are not gonna do these things. Viktor Gyökeres news. According to news from, well, Nico Shira, it's from Portugal, all these places if I'm not mistaken. Arsenal have offered Viktor Gyökeres a 5-year contract as they look to secure the signature, which is quite nice. 5-year deal till 2030. It's actually quite nice. Victor, and it was talked about that Arsenal are willing to offer him 5-year deal, 10 million signing bonus, 6 million a year, which comes out to being like 112 to 116,000 a week, which seems nuts, but 10 million signing bonus is actually quite nice. Arsenal are offering that. However, there are talks that Sporting Lisbon at the same time are also trying to play the hardball, basically, to keep him. And they're also offering him 6 million per season to stay at the club. However, there are rumors that they're offering also obviously a signing bonus. Arsenal are offering 10 million. However, Sporting are offering only 4 million, so 6 million difference. That is a big gap, and I'm not too sure whether that's gonna happen or not, whether he's gonna accept it or not. But this was the biggest comical situation of the day. According to Mirror Football, right? Viktor Gyökeres' girlfriend I'm very, very sorry about that. According to Mirror Football, as I was saying, Viktor Gyökeres' girlfriend has promised the fans to convince the striker to stay at Sporting, while his uncle has said that he thinks Gyökeres is gonna remain at Sporting. The Swede has responded by saying that his family really like Portugal, but football is another thing. This is kind of nuts. Like, Mrs. and Uncle playing the devil's advocate here. Why he shouldn't go to Arsenal, why they shouldn't come here, and they should stay in Portugal. Obviously, warm weather, sun shining, all this stuff. It's fantastic. Why would you want to go to England where it rains 50% of the time? I totally get that. But let's be real, going for his career, he doesn't want to improve on his career. That's a completely different story. Like, this is actually kind of insane if you come to think of it. Actually kind of insane that Mrs. is trying to pull him away from improving on his chances to do stuff in life. You can get another handover. Again! Here we go. You can get another striker, hand over our striker. Yeah, exactly. They can do that easily. Genuinely, they can do it easily. Oh. Team the season, it's gonna happen in a second. It's gonna happen, just calma. We're gonna talk about it. Now, one thing. this. According to Sam Mogbel, Wolves are set to reject Manchester United's offer to pay Mateusz Cunha 62.5 million release clauses over, and I kid you not, goddamn 5 years. They want to pay him till 2030 to Wolves for Mateusz Cunha. Clause is required to be paid in full after 26-27 season. Obviously, that was the talk. They're gonna pay them in 3 installments over 2.5 years, right? Well, 2 years, let's be real, in 2 years. However, Wolves also expect for United to honor those clauses. Somehow United sheepishly want to get in there the situation that they will pay him till 2030 for Mateusz Cunha. So basically, instead of paying about 21 million and something like that over 3 installments, right? They want to pay about 12.5. They want to pay 12.5. It's actually kind of insane how far United has fallen. They cannot even buy Mateusz Cunha and pay the proper money. It is actually kind of insane if you ask me. Genuinely kinda insane to say the least. But yeah, that's Man United's problems. We have our own problems at Arsenal, so yeah, it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. Now, before we get into things, before we get into team the season and all this stuff, is there anything we can talk about more? Arsenal gained nearly 178 million from the Premier League this season after finishing second. It is 3.7 million less than champions Liverpool and 6.3 more than third place Manchester City. Who the hell cares? I'm sorry, but who the hell bloody cares? For me, there's no big difference. Second, third, fourth, as we are in Champions League, and that is it. Big up, my boss. Big up. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Hope you're doing well. That shows they have money to invest. Think about it. They got nearly 100 million, if not even more than 100 million from Champions League alone. Now they got 178 million from Premier League, from winning that. Then you add the commercial deals, brand deals, all that crap. It genuinely is insane lump of money. Now, obviously, you have to kind of look from the other hand. You need to keep the stadium in proper shape. You need to pay stuff. You need to improve. You need to maybe restructure, rebuild some stuff. Obviously, it's gonna cost money, especially in the size of things you need to do in terms of Arsenal, right? At the same time, holy crap. If anyone wants to tell us that we don't have money, it's actually kind of insane. We have lumps of endless chunks of money. We just don't spend them. Well, we do technically spend them, 750 million over 5 years. You cannot say that we don't spend them, right? At the same time, how we have spent them, it doesn't look too good, does it? What outgoings do we have that can generate money? Zinchenko could generate money, about 25 to 35 million, plus 150,000 a week off the wage bill, right? Nuno Tavares is gonna generate about 10 million. Nelson we are not selling. If we could sell Odegaard or Havertz, we would get insane money. Let's be real. Odegaard definitely we could sell about for 60-70 million, I think, at least. Given the current circumstance, we could sell Martinelli for about 50-60 million, Trossard for about 25 to 35, maybe 40 if you push it. Depends if Saudi comes in again or not. So there are possibilities to gain some extra money, 100% by selling Odegaard. See, he also wants to sell Odegaard. It's nuts. But yeah, we have abilities to generate money. That is also the case. Now the question is, will we? And obviously, let's be real, with this money we are getting as well, right? We have got this all money. Let's not forget, Andrea Berta currently is in talks to try at least and extend Saliba's contract, give Saka a new contract, give Gabriel Magalhaes a new contract. He's talking about Partey's new contract and everything. That also will cost big lumps of money. Let's be real. Same goes for Ranieri's new deal, Skelly's new deal. Because, for example, Skelly is on like 2-3 grand a week. Same goes for Ranieri. They're gonna jump up to 50-60 grand a week. So that already is gonna be a massive chunk. Again, you have to take off and all this stuff. Big up AFC always. Big up, hope you're doing well today. Personally, who would you y'all take from Aston Villa right now? Rodgers. I would take Rodgers in a heartbeat. Rodgers, 100%. I'm genuinely scrolling through players in my head. Rodgers. Maybe John McGinn as well. John McGinn. Besides that, let's be real. We can do better than, for example, Watkins. We definitely can do better than Watkins. We defensively, like, there is no chance. Let's be real. Goalkeepers, they're losing Martinez for free to someone, so that's not a possibility. Midfield wise, I wanted to say Tielemans, but I'm not so sure. Maybe, maybe not. I much prefer, for example, Rodgers and McGinn and all these players. Sell Kivior. I would be for that. We talked about this a few days ago. There was an article on TBR Football or wherever that apparently Berta wants like 50-60 million for Kivior, which is nuts. But to be honest, strike while the iron is hot. Let's be real. If we can sell him for that of 2-month hype, I will be all for it. Why we are not in for Morgan Gibbs-White? It's interesting because I think they like. Isn't he about like 60-70 million as well? And let's be real, Mikel Arteta also doesn't want to basically upset his baby, which is Odegaard. Let's be real, Odegaard already doesn't sleep. He has to feed his child and all this stuff and everything. So we'll see how that goes. So I think he just doesn't want to upset his adopted child. Morgan Rogers, yeah, I would say Morgan Rogers in a heartbeat. He walked through our midfield with his eyes closed, let's be real, as well. Anything else here? Arsenal will be in pot 2 for UEFA Champions League phase draw next season. However, with each team being drawn against 2 clubs from 4 pots, they have less relevance than previous seasons. So what's the point in pots in anyways? Viktor Gyökeres family reveals that. We talked about that. Oh, Raheem Sterling, Raheem the Dream, shillings. Look at these stats from Raheem the Dream. You haven't seen the best of me yet. 28 games, 1 goal, 5 assists. And 2 of those points, I think it was a goal and an assist, or it was a 2 assists, came against Bolton or Preston. Someone in Carabao Cup. Or FA Cup, it was Carabao Cup. Like, that loan has gone really well for Arsenal, hasn't it? Really, really well. Really well that has gone. Yeah, Bolton, thank you. If it would pop up, big up my boss. Thank you for that. Yeah, it was Bolton, thank you. Yeah, disgusting stats to say the least. Disgusting stats, I'm not gonna lie. To say the least. But yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Loan gone well in it. Anything else regarding Arsenal? I'm just checking news and then we're gonna get to Premier League team this season. Already telling you that much, and then we're gonna get to Premier League team this season. Martin Keown, nobody cares. Arsenal on this day, Kate McCabe, Bukayo Saka, nobody cares at the moment. Season is done. On the road. Okay. And the last one, let's look what Frodizio Romano has said. This is the best of you watch Trossard right now, more goals and assists. Yeah, to be honest, when Yeri outperformed him, Merino at number 6 as a striker outperformed him dramatically as well, let's be real. It's actually kind of nuts. Anyways, Lamine Yamal has signed a new deal. No doubt since Sunday night. Mateusz Cunha will be Manchester United player from Wolves for 62.5 million. That's 8 minutes ago. Fabrizio is saying this. Release clause paid in installments, verbal agreement done on Sunday, and to be formally signed next week as always planned. Here we go. United, it looks like, officially have signed Mateusz Cunha. Thoughts? No more Nico Williams. He's a... no. Wouldn't go that far. There are links with Emiliano Martinez and Julian Alvarez, which I think are BS. Yeah, I think so too as well. Although the connection between Bert and Alvarez, let's be real, so it is what it is. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about yesterday about Alvarez. But, let's be real, Martinez hates Arteta with a passion. He's not coming here whatsoever. He's not coming here whatsoever. Anyways. Next one, moving on. Aston Villa could be signing Redmond. Oh, they are signing Redmond. Free transfer from Feyenoord. Anything else? Anything else? Jadon Sancho. Back to United. Okay. Jordan Henderson called up to... Jordan Henderson will decide his future this month. English midfielder has options to trigger additional year at Ajax, but has interest from Premier League. Who's in Premier League interested in Jordan Henderson? What the hell? What the hell? Wojciech Szczesny is extending his contract at Barcelona, by the way, if you didn't know. Anthony wanted revenge. We'd like to keep him here, but it's not easy when you pay 100 million for a player, 100%. Gasperini's future after a meeting with the club today is open. Oh bloody hell, Gasperini actually might leave Atalanta by the looks of things. Oh yay, another baby picture. That was Dinhausen. Meeting ongoing between Antonio Conte and Napoli's president De Laurentiis to discuss his future at the club. There was some iffy stuff going on apparently. Here we go. This is for Marlon specifically. See, they won Cherki as well. City won Cherki as well, so that is going well in it. Anyhow, we have come to that portion of the day which really coach wanted. Premier League team of the season. As I said before, obviously, if you look at it straight as it says on the tin, Premier League team of the season is Liverpool because they won the league. No shadow of a doubt. However, we are gonna try and ignore that fact. First things first. And second of all, what we're gonna do? We're gonna try and pick out the best players for each position in our point of view and to come to a common ground. Because I 100% can guarantee you, we will disagree on certain things. So best of luck. Best of luck. Hope you're gonna like this. So let's do this. And first things first, what we're gonna start off is Marlon. Calm the fuck down. We're gonna do this position by position. Don't spam the chat before the position, please. We are going by position. Gasperini is not coming to Arsenal whatsoever. I already can tell you that much. So, first things first. We're gonna start with the goalkeeper. Obviously, there are the obvious options, right? Obvious options. David Raya. He won the Golden Glove. So did Sells from Nottingham Forest. He won the Golden Glove. However, you need to look from the other perspective as well. Since Liverpool won the league, you have to put also Alisson in contention. Let's be real. There's no argument about that. Personally for me, and this is just me, I am saying Alisson. At the end of the day. I don't give a damn that Raya won the Golden Glove. Because for me, yes, defensive record, clean sheets, all that crap, whatever. Let's be real, because Arteta is going to milk that Golden Glove whole summer as another trophy like he has won something. For me, goalkeeper in the team this season should be Alisson. As a backup, I can discuss Raya and Sells. I'm telling you that now. For me personally, it has to be Alisson solely because first things first, he won the league. And he did actually very good stuff for Liverpool. His ball distribution was top notch. And in certain games, he actually was essential, let's just put it that way, in them actually getting the wins they needed. In my opinion, at least. because there were games where he was standing on his head even in Premier League to some extent. That for me is at least that for me is. See, Marlon or Ania, I will call you Marlon, don't care. He says Raya and coach also says Raya. I totally get that. I totally get that. It will be. I totally get that. Why are you putting in Raya? For me, it is Alisson, without shadow of a doubt. Nah, we are doing 4-3-3. Solely because, well, it's the standard formation for everything. We are doing 4-3-3. Because we have 3 midfielders, we can even pick and choose which midfielder is which. It doesn't matter. Personally, for me at least. 4-2-3-1 makes no difference. Just a bit deeper type of 4-3-3 with more control in the midfield. But yeah, so we have 2 votes for Raya, 1 vote for for Alisson. Tough choice, to be honest. Tough choice. Personally, I'm gonna go with it has to be Alisson, isn't it? He won the league to some extent. I get the David Raya Golden Glove shout and everything, but I'm trying. First things first, Arsenal bias, I'm totally throwing in the bin because I don't give a damn. Second of all, Golden Glove is nice, but at the end of the day, it didn't stem to nothing for me personally. The midfield can be whatever positions you want. Realize. If it's with a Cam, hell no. Exactly, it's not gonna be with Cam. It will be with 3 midfielders. One of them can be a 6, rest of them can be 2-8 or 1-10, 1-8. It doesn't matter. It's a midfielder at the end of the day. So, how are we doing this? Left back. Left back position. Left back position. What are we saying? Is it unanimous that the left back position is Milos Gyökeres? Anyone disagrees with left back position being Milos Gyökeres? Big up Bargav, big up, hope you're doing well today. Anyone else? I'm saying Gyökeres, for me personally, because what he did for Bournemouth and the fact that he instantly has caught eye for basically pretty much every single top team you can imagine on the face of the earth, I have to go with Gyökeres. Personally. Marlon is going Gyökeres. Coach says Skelly because he finished 2nd in the league. You're going solely on the 2nd in the league? Like, in that case, it just means nothing. It means it will be full Liverpool Arsenal team or just full Arsenal team. For me personally, it has to be Gyökeres. He did much more than Skelly did. I get, but Skelly also, he's not a left back. He's still learning on the job. The red cards, him getting cooked, being out of position. He's great inverting because by default he's a midfielder. But if you look at the left back from standard bog position where you ask a left back to do his job, I'm going with Gyökeres, personally. That's just my opinion. First time here, like the graphics. Big up, thank you so much. Big up to you, big up. Not dribble past record. I get it, I totally get it. But stats are to certain extent. Just can carry you to a certain extent. And personally, for me, Gyökeres has been better. Gyökeres has been better. And if it was up to me, I would sign Gyökeres at Arsenal and place Kelly in the midfield. But since Mikel Arteta has this weird fetish about inverting all the time, we are never gonna see that, are we? Like, seriously. We are never gonna see that. So for me personally, I'm gonna go with Gyökeres. Let's see what other people think afterwards. How we do this? Center backs. Yeah, Robinson as well, very good shout. He can be like a bench player in the team this season. Let's just say we build a team this season 11. And if you need a bench for that team this season, you can put in, for example, Robinson. You can put in as well, Miles Lewis Skelly, Raya, Sells, the players that basically didn't make the main team. Man, what's of inverting though? We are with Arteta. We are. Let's be real. One of the center backs, Van Dijk. And I totally agree with this. Van Dijk for me definitely, well, he's a right-sided, isn't he? Van Dijk 100%. For me, this is my center back pairing personally. These are my center back pairing for the team this season, because I can see people shouting Murillo, Konate. Someone definitely is gonna try and say Saliba and stuff like that, but you cannot just have it. You cannot just have it. For me, it has to be Van Dijk and Gabriel. Personally. Who else had a very good season? Saliba had a decent season. He didn't have a good season. People will try and shoehorn Saliba in 100%. For example, coach is saying Saliba. I'm not saying he's trying to shoehorn him in. But for me personally, the thing about Saliba in this instance, right, is the fact that as soon as Gabriel got injured, Saliba disappeared. Saliba not disappeared per se, but he instantly became more nervy. He instantly started to make mistakes. His head got spun and everything. For me, Gabriel in general, for over, not just this season, even last season, he's been best out of the two defenders. For the last year and a half to 2 years, Gabriel has been better than Saliba in my opinion. That's just how I think it is. Plus, to add on top of that, right? Gabriel also, which is not his main job, I'll admit, but he also, going forward, he does much more than Saliba does, personally. So, for me, it's Gabriel and Virgil van Dijk. Yeah, that's the case. Saliba has been like mid this season. I wouldn't say he's been mid, but compared to the standard Saliba has set for himself in terms of performing for Arsenal, he was below that bar, right? However, Gabriel, on the other hand, he's getting better, which this is one of the biggest reasons he actually has improved. And he is that guy who actually brings that solidity in defense. He's the last man that is actually gonna basically die in front of the ball just to save the goal. Totally agree with that. Gabriel being better, not only because of goals. Exactly. Big up Julio Cesar. Big up. Top goalkeeper. Top goalkeeper from Brazil. I really like Gabriel. And that for me, it has come to a point where, for example, if we are selling one of the center backs, right? It was to a point, I would say 2 years ago, right? 22, 23 season, stuff like that. I said I much rather lose Gabriel than Saliba. But going on throughout these last 2.5 seasons, I've come to a conclusion that actually Gabriel for us defensively is more important than Saliba actually is, right? And if I had to basically lose one of the two center backs, I actually rather lose Saliba than actually lose Gabriel, as weird as it sounds. One of the biggest issues with Gabriel when he just signed was the Bozo gene, and he has, I would arguably say 99.9% absolutely eliminated that from his arsenal. And replacing Gabriel, in my opinion, finding that type of defender who basically is gonna be like a dog, who's gonna throw his body on the line, who's gonna give it all, who is not afraid to block, to basically get into others' people and everything, who's not afraid from a challenge, from a block, to talk to other, to basically run his mouth and get on others' nerves, and you know the dark arts and all that crap, right? I think Gabriel in that regard is, to certain level, irreplaceable. If we sold Saliba, we can sign another center back that is similar to Saliba. Obviously, it's not the same, without shadow of a doubt, right? But to sign someone like Gabriel, it's almost impossible these days, because most of the defenders are very flashy these days, right? Who like to pass, go forward, and all this stuff, who are very good on the ball. But you need someone who is a bit more old school, who likes to stick to you in the bone, pause, and everything, right? Basically go bone-in-bone challenges and everything. And Gabriel just basically screams that for me. I know I'm talking like an old school type of person who watches football. You know, like like old school, who was like Puyol and players like that, who actually were not afraid to get into you instantly. As soon as he got the ball, bang! Like Carragher and center backs like that. And Gabriel, for me, is that type of defender. And you don't see too much these days from these like that. Salibas you see similar to Salibas, let's just say. You see it much more often than you see Gabriel's these days. Defense, goals, pressing, making the forward shaking their boots. Yeah, I think Gabriel in that regard is 100%. Yeah, big up Marlon. Diomande, Gabriel. I genuinely would think that, for example, center-back pairing of Gabriel and Murillo from Nottingham Forest, right? A very good shout for another center-back, right? Or Gabriel and Bastoni, for example, would be phenomenal, in my opinion, definitely. Yeah, I know. Puyol would. Puyol definitely would. So, right backs. Right back options. So, what we're saying for right backs. Coach is saying Munoz from Palace, and to be honest, it's very hard to disagree, I'm not gonna lie. Ola Aina from Nottingham Forest, that would be 2. I would say, and this will sound very biased, but I would say Jurrien Timber. Ironically enough. Jurrien Timber. Just for that guy, for what he has done in general, coming back from ACL, getting into the team, and basically, to some extent, being arguably one of the best, if not the best right back in the league, to a certain extent, at certain aspects of the game. After that horrific injury and playing game in, game out with no changes, on occasion seeing Partey there just because, it's actually really hard to say no to that. I'm just gonna put it that way. It's really hard to say no to that, if you get what I mean. So that for me is the big question. That for me is a big question in that regard. Would that work? Wouldn't that work? How that would develop and everything. So for me, yeah. Murillo, yeah, for Sternbach, yeah. Good check, not gonna lie. Yeah, exactly. I think so. Murillo, actually, he has some very good traits. See, coach said Munoz. Marlon says Munoz. Aina as well, definitely. Timber too, yeah. They'll come back season and unlocked up Sarah. Mohamed Sarah. Hello. Trent, sadly. With Trent, it's a bit different. Trent is... For me, Trent, he has... It's a 50-50 one. I know that one of the biggest reasons why Trent would be in there is because of the attack. The passing and everything, and obviously the abilities, what he brings going forward. But for me, I kind of try to look to the overall package of the player, right? And if I compare them to the others, what I have seen at least this season, at least for at minimum, Timber and Munoz, both of them kind of overdo him online as well. Timber has pocketed just about everything. Exactly. He pretty much pocketed Kvaratskhelia as well from the whole 180 minutes. He pocketed him for like 140, 150. Unfortunately, those minutes where he didn't pocket him, we actually conceded all of them pretty much. So this is a coin toss for me. So I'm gonna go with Timber, right? Wait, not Quinton. I'm gonna go with Timber, but very strong shout and very close between Munoz as well and Aina, I would say. Moving on to midfield. Marlon says Rice, McAllister and Gravenberch, right? That would be the midfield for him. It's really hard to say. Going through this. Tonali. Yeah, the midfield is a bit of a rough one. Yeah, see, coach also says Tonali, because for me Tonali is one of those actually. I would be very strongly inclined to put him in. One thing is for sure, I'm putting in McAllister 100%, and I cannot not put in Gravenberch, because the season this guy is having for Liverpool, right? This season what he had for Liverpool, it's actually sublime and phenomenal. how Slot has completely transformed him and make him look unique, it is actually insane, if you ask me. Rice left 8, McAllister right 8, and Gravenberch 6. Who was the best CDM this year? For me, it's Gravenberch. In the league, at least. Obviously, I don't want to say... if you mean the world, oh bloody hell. For in the world, it's actually a bit different story. But I'm looking just in terms of this. You have Colo too. Who? Yeah, Gravenberch is no joke. I need that right left, in this instance, left 8. I'm just thinking through Premier League. Who else is there? Like, serious talk. Rodgers? Would you put Rodgers up there potentially? Or that's not enough. Tonali, Rice, and... How are you putting Palmer in there? Sorry, Palmer? Morgan Gibbs White. Yeah. I agree with that. Morgan Gibbs White. I can see that. 100%. Morgan Gibbs White. And then if we look in potentially, let's just say off the bench, like if you want to put a full 18 players, right? If you want to have your bench as well, then you can put there your Rice and players like that. Morgan Gibbs White. Rodgers. Well, he plays everywhere. That's the biggest thing. He plays for Nottingham Forest. By default, Nottingham Forest, right? On the wings, they have Hudson-Odoi, they have Elanga, and they have Chris Wood up top, right? And Morgan Gibbs White is like a floating 10. He is just free roaming all over the place, basically. So it's a bit different one. Rice cannot be a CDM. He didn't play there pretty much at all this season. Thomas Partey was playing as a 6. And to be honest, Thomas Partey was better of our 2 midfielders. Well, more than Oshong. It's very easy to do that, though, isn't it? Yeah, mostly central, exactly. 7 goals, 8 assists. Mostly central, exactly. I'm just thinking, is there anyone else? Wait. Let's look at it this way. Premier League table. Quick look at Premier League table. I just have to do it because I'm definitely gonna forget someone and it's genuinely gonna rile my brain all the time. So we have Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, no. Chelsea, no chance. Although Caicedo had a very good season, I'm not gonna lie, but Caicedo doesn't work there. For me, Caicedo just doesn't work. For Newcastle, the biggest thing about Newcastle, it's not Moises Caicedo, what the fuck am I on about? Bruno Guimaraes or Sandro Tonali. I'm really about this putting Tonali in. I'm very, very, very swayed in this. I don't know why, but I really want to put Tonali in there. I would put Tonali over Rodgers. I would put them over those type of players. 100%. So that for me is the biggest thing. Tielemans as well. Yeah. Big up Julio. Yeah, Tielemans as well. Tielemans as well could go in that department. And kinda, it's very, very confusing, that midfield. No matter how you look at it, people gonna get pissed off anyways. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. So, I would say... Bruno Guimaraes, Moises Caicedo, Bruno Fernandes actually didn't have a bad season for United, but not United, let's be real. Not for United. I'm very, very... This Gibbs White spot is really confusing me because I want to put someone in there. We'll get back to that. Attackers. Well, I kind of... It has to be Salah, right? It has to be Salah. First things first, on the right wing. Without shadow of a doubt, right? None of our players don't even have 10 goals, exactly. Where are you putting Eze? In the midfield? Eze in the midfield. Eze left wing? See, coach wants to put him in the 10 spot. No chance Gakpo gets in there whatsoever. I'm sorry, but no. Well, striker has to kind of be Isak, doesn't it? Alexander Isak. Huh. That. Don't give a damn. He destroyed us. Overall, he wasn't that. Overall, didn't have the performances. Let's be real. How what we saying? Left wing and Buemo. Here we go. This is the thing. Brian Buemo and Visa. It's such a travesty that there is not enough spots to put those two players in, for example. Mateta as well. Although, let's be real, Isak is doing better, but Mateta was a shout. But this is not only about goals. Enough of GA crap. We're going off overall performance. That for me is the big thing. I don't care as much about GA as the performance in its own from the player. That's why, for example, for me, Gyökeres over Miles Lewis-Skelly. That's why I'm putting Alisson over David Raya. Right? They're those type of situations. It cannot be only GA based, because if it was GA based, it genuinely would look so dead, it's actually not funny. Left wing and number 10s and 8s. Who else is there? Who else is there? Aston Villa. No. Newcastle. Anthony Gordon, no chance in hell. Chelsea, no chance in hell. Man City, no chance in hell. Arsenal, don't make me laugh. Forest, Brighton, they have Mitoma there. Semenyo, Kluivert. Yeah, what? Yeah, I'm looking to the teams, right? Semenyo, Kluivert, Eze. Right? Let's check this. Justin Kluivert, right? 18, right? He mostly played through middle or right wing or left wing. Okay. Semenyo, Antoine Semenyo. He played mostly left wing though. That is the biggest deal about this. Semenyo, 11 goals, 6 assists. Eberechi Eze. Where is he? Should have probably typed Eberechi, right? Eberechi Eze. Again, not GA. Oh yeah, never mind, I'm blind. Eberechi Eze. He mostly did his job in the cups, so Premier League is not as much. He also mostly played through middle. That is another thing. Oh, I pressed Liverpool, didn't I? No, Gakpo. 10 plus 5, it's nothing special. He has worse stats than Kluivert and Semenyo, by the way. If you want go from GA, so your GA performance here drops to you on its ass. So, yeah. Let's do it this way. No. How did he found Buemo? Here we go. Can we do it like this? Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with it? It is tricky. That left side is very, very, I won't say even, but it's very, very, I can't say average as well. It's very, very balanced in terms of stats, performances, because most of the left wingers have had their hot streaks and their cold streaks. They have had up and down performances, and nobody has been exceptional and consistently performed. So it's very, very like that. Big up Tamina, big up Gyokeres. Where? I need info, I need the sources. That's solid, you think so? That could work. Gordon maybe, yeah. This attack would win treble, not gonna lie. Dude, it would be nuts. So we still have the left, as you said, don't only look at G. Exactly, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do that. And Isak has to be there. For example, Mateta can come off the bench. Buemo can be there, Gordon can come off the bench. Salah on the right wing, I don't know, Saka can come off the bench, whatever, right? Or Visa can come off the bench and Buemo goes right wing afterwards or something. That midfield spot is so goddamn annoying. I cannot figure this out to save my life at the moment. That midfield is very, very weird spot. We have a 6, we have a technically 8/10. So it would make sense that if we put in more balanced type of 8, and I'm really kind of want to put in either Bruno Guimaraes or Sandro Tonali. Those are my choices, personally. Yeah, I can get Rice, I totally get it. Huh. Like, I'm going through the teams in my mind, what midfielders they have, how they play, and all this stuff, and it's very hard to think about someone like specific. Like, there could be Caicedo, there could be Morgan Gibbs-White more attacking, or Eze, there could be more defensive, one more box-to-box one. It's who's gonna score bangers in big games? Mohamed Salah. Stop the PR for Rice. He was average this season. He had moments of brilliance, but Partey overall was better. That's at least what I think. What about this? Good, 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 good. Bloody hell, that one position is gonna do my head in. Lock in Havertz, exactly, lock him in, let him be the left 8 or something like that. Hold on. Newcastle. Guimaraes. What about this? Just put Zobazlai in then. I don't know, that one spot is really doing in my head and I cannot figure it out to save my life. Oh, for fuck's sake. But you have arguably 2 box-to-box, one more attacking minded. There is creative abilities, there is physicality, there is the physicality aspect is a bit 50-50, but I think Gravenberch and especially Bruno can do the job. Same goes for McAllister. Defensively as well, I think it will work fine in that regard. And I think we have done a good job today. I genuinely believe we have done a good job. Like, yeah, 60 million down the drain and Kai Havertz misses open net once again. I think that we can lock this in. We can lock this in. And manager of the season is Arne Slot. For me, manager of the season is Arne Slot. It's very hard to argue against him. So, yeah. I'm gonna say it like that. Manager of the season is Arne Slot. And this is the team of the season, our team of the season for the Premier League. There are some obvious options, and there is one wild pick, which is Mbeumo, I'm not gonna lie. But otherwise, yeah. I think we did a good job, I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely believe we did a good job. Yeah, Slot, exactly. Slot is the best, no debate. First year comes in, does everything, schools everyone, phase 1, phase 0.5 and done and dusted. It would be nice to play against Espanyol, blah blah blah. Nothing new is happening regarding Arsenal, right? I'm just quickly going through rumor mills and everything. Nothing. If there's nothing, that will also be it. Oh, okay. Jorginho has revealed that an Arsenal return is a possibility following his departure. Oh, bloody hell. Arsenal were left slightly shaken. Ooh, shaken. When Benjamin Sesko signed a new contract at RB Leipzig last summer. The Gunners were confident they had laid the groundwork to get the deal over the line. Well, how about you don't tell this dumbass that he's gonna be the backup dancer to Kai Havertz? Maybe that would help. Second of all, this guy writes for Sun Sport. Genuinely take these news with massive pinch of salt. Already telling you that much. Get this shit off screen. Put in the team this season. Anyways, this is the team this season for our team this season for Premier League this year. Arne Slot, without shadow of a doubt, is the manager of the season as well. So I think on that note, we're gonna end today's stream. Don't forget, tomorrow there is no stream. Tomorrow I am on Views on Sport channel, Under the Lens, talking about Arsenal, my journey, how I became Arsenal fan and all this stuff. We're gonna talk about all that. And I will upload tomorrow, obviously, a video at the same time. So that is gonna be either way. I wanna be consistent. I'm gonna put out videos every single day. Or streams and everything, so don't stay tuned for that. Also, of course, YouTube Shorts coming out tomorrow, and also it came out one today. If you haven't, go check it out. And also on TikTok, Mr. Robo19 TV. There is also TikToks every day, just like on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed there or followed, you could also do it there as well. Good stream. Thank you for being here throughout this all jibba jabba as well. Participate in everything. You had some very good shouts, everyone. Should do one for full for Europe. Dude, I don't watch every league in Europe. I cannot do that. If we did top 5 leagues, that will be hard. It's hard enough to do it within one league. And now imagine doing this across, like, just say even top 5 leagues. It's gonna be insane. And it will spark so many arguments. We will argue more than we genuinely gonna say goalkeeper, and it's instantly gonna be half an hour discussion which goalkeeper we're gonna put in. It's gonna be like that for every single position, and I don't have enough time for that, let's be real. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you Marlon, Bargav, Julio, Coach. Big up everyone who else, Mabas, everyone who was here. Big up YouTube Sensors as well. Arsenal should have had contract ready for Gyokeres to sign on Monday morning. Yes, they should have. They should have had him signed already. June 1st, when this window opens, Gyokeres, done deal. That should be the case. If we are serious club, first few days of June summer transfer window before the Club World Cup begins, Gyokeres is an Arsenal player. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna end it today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, like the stream, Subscribe if you're new around here. Road to 600 is going strong, and then to 1K, of course, as well. Leave your comments down below if you're watching this as a playback. Take care. See you all, well, on stream on Thursday, but we're gonna see each other tomorrow if you go to views on sports stream as well. I'm gonna post it in the community, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. But for now, I'm signing out. Have a nice evening, have a nice day tomorrow. Take care, stay safe, and see you very, very soon.